Hey guys, I'm Mustached Jr. here, aka Mustached Tom, here to review the movie Project Ithaca. So this movie starts off, well, not in space, but in some weird mountain area where these experiments have been going on. And we later learn out that 6 random participants have been captured, and they are trying to figure out why them, why they have been brought up, what is their connection, how they can get out, and so on and so forth. The majority of the movie does take place in the spaceship with these 6 individuals being held up in space. I will give this movie immediate credit as it does introduce a new actor. And if you know me, if you have followed this channel for as long as you have, you know that I am an avid supporter for new whether it's a new YouTuber, or a new actor, or whatever, or a new writer, anything new. I'm an avid supporter of giving something new a chance. So I do want to give that credit where it is due. The acting actually isn't all that bad, all considered. This movie does seem to be one of those lower end budgeted movies, and as in it mostly takes place in this one area, and they sort of, what the majority of the budget seems to stem from is associated with making just the spacecraft look pretty neat, and the actual alien tentacle monster, hentai monster, whatever, make that obvious joke, but make that look pretty neat. These 6 people all get to know each other. There's like this army guy who brought this, or doesn't necessarily bring, but was with this other girl named, I think her name was Susan. His name was John. We had this black teacher. I don't have my notes, so I do apologize if I don't remember their names. There was this prisoner guy. There was this like rocker guy, and then there's like this chick that spoke another language mostly. So those other 6, they sort of freak out, and whenever the freakouts happen, the spacecraft lights up and goes to that individual who was freaking out the most and starts to absorb their essence, I guess, or their energy. So it starts with that woman, the teacher. She's later calmed down by the prisoner guy, like officially, like the other guy tries but fails. So they try to talk to each other, get to know each other better. Meanwhile, this tentacle monster thing, alien, is getting more memories, slowly but surely. I don't think it ever went after the rocker guy at any point, which is interesting. I think it did once, but maybe I'm just misremembering. So, the other thing that they learn as they communicate with each other, which is that each of them seems to be from a different timeline. Each of them recalls a certain date. All their dates are like several years apart. So, this whole space thing that's going on is an indication that these aliens have figured out how to manipulate time to some extent. So these 6 individuals are from different times, and that causes them to freak out a little bit more, and then eventually calm down again. And as more and more time goes on, the alien gets more and more aggressive with its tactics, going to each individual and like face sucking them, trying to get at their fears. The military guy having the fear of like losing his wife again or whatever. The fear of the prisoner and him being on the opposite side of his daughter. The girl that spoke another language, her fear of like seeing her, I think it was her mother getting like sexually assaulted by some guy, and I mean actually like sexually assaulted, not like the fake Captain Marvel sexually assaulted. Like the guy was actually like on top of her, like groping her and stuff like that. Actually, like sexual assault, not fake sexual assault. Just want to make sure that is crystal clear. And he also found her in the memory, and it is implied that that guy probably went after the girl who spoke another language when she was much younger, indicating that guy had an even bigger crime of the pedophilia. So yeah, there's that. So they try to get each other to calm down. Out of all the individuals, the first, I think the prisoner died first, technically. Like the alien eventually like takes off his head and then uses his head as a voice box to like communicate with the others. I think he actually takes out the teacher first, and then the prisoner guy second, and uses him as this sort of talking device. So, as this guy, the alien head now is again being more and more aggressive, the girl, the one that I said that the military guy brought in, but technically that's true, and technically it's also not true, I guess, whatever. Anyway, she can apparently commune with the whole timeline divergence thing, and she already knew like all this stuff was going to happen. So I guess that does cheapen it a little bit, and in regards to how this all resolves itself, she sort of uses this whole time power to unlock this gate. It literally rewinds before the first person was taken out, and then she uses the last bit of her power, or another bit of her power, I'm not sure what the indication was, but she uses some sort of power to send all of them back to all the same timeline. Now apparently those 6 that we saw weren't the only 6 there. There were actually several groups that were probably scattered throughout the ship. So the 5 of them, I should say, because the Sarah girl got left behind to like stay with the aliens or whatever. But nonetheless, they all diverge down one timeline in one area, and then we cut off into space, and we see that the ships that were holding these people are like teleporting towards Earth for some sort of invasion ? To sort of indicate, I suppose, a potential follow-up. So that was Project Ithaca, and the Project Ithaca is the project of the military guy working with these other 2 individuals who are trying to communicate with the aliens in the first place. That's where the name comes from, by the way. If I did neglect to mention that, and I just thought I'd add that in before I give my score. So, again, as I mentioned, I think the acting is fine. I think the story is pretty straightforward. There's a little bit of time manipulation, but I don't think it's like that bad. It does cheapen the experience just a little bit. And again, I'm always an advocate of new acting. So definitely checking it out. Support new actors. Support these smaller films. I'm gonna give this movie a 7 out of 10. Actually, sorry about that, I'm facing lag for some reason. And if you want to help me prevent that, please consider supporting me on, or just donating to my Patreon page. Any donations are greatly appreciated, and do all that stuff. But yeah, I said 7 out of 10 if that didn't come through clear. Solid film, I enjoyed it, and if you enjoyed this review, then, please feel free to like, comment, and subscribe. Also, make sure to check out those links in the description. One will head you over to my Discord server, the other to my Patreon page. Any donations, as I mentioned, are greatly appreciated. And until next time, everyone, bye-bye.